He'll get out there this morning and be game time this week.
What do you see with that line right now, Laviolette?
It's moved around. That's the one line that has moved a little bit. And so again, these are tough decisions you don't really want to make as a coach, but you have to make them. And so trying to evaluate his health and where he's at, and what you might have to do if he's in the lineup or out of the lineup. And that line has had, I think, tougher responsibilities and a tougher game to play because of the zones that I start them in and where they go and who they play against. So at times that can be a little bit challenging, but I think they've done a good job, and we're still trying to figure out exactly what the pieces are.
Do you foresee most morning skates for game day being here at the Garden?
No, I think they'll move.
Yeah.
I think it'll move around. Just trying to get a lot of different guys in different places, so trying to stay not neutral for everybody, but trying to mix it up so that everybody comes at different places at different times.
Is there a benefit, you think, to having it in the arena, or?
I just think that there's a benefit of getting together, and I think that just based on where the players live and where we train and where MSG is, that I think I'm just trying to do it in a way where everybody is moving at different times in different places. And so for me, the benefit is the morning skate, getting together. Whether we go out on the ice or not, there's a lot of structure that goes into the day. And so it's an opportunity to get in front of the players in the morning and talk to them about the game, set the tone for the day, have them ask questions, show them some video, maybe get out on the ice, which we are right now because it's early in the season. And so it's just, right now we're here, but it will move.
Obviously, what's said on the ice stays on the ice, but how do you pick and choose those post-morning skate one-on-one competitions that you have? I saw you talk to Benino and Mika pretty late.
Well, some of them are just conversations, real casual. Some of them are about how you're feeling. Some of them are, maybe you're looking for something more in a player, or maybe they're doing really good things out there, and so you just bump around and talk to the guys, and see what they are, listen, see what they're having to say, and those conversations I think are important.
If Nick is good to go, squeeze him back in, or is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna sift through all of that tonight, and I don't want it to come out that somebody's playing or not playing when I don't know myself. Do you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So I'll work through that tonight.
When you have a team like Nashville, it's early and they come up with a performance they probably weren't too proud of, do you have to factor that in this game tonight?
They'll be ready to play. Well, I think it's really important to never do your best to get everyone on the page to never underestimate an opponent, regardless of whether they're winning or they're losing, or regardless of record, or halfway through the season where they are in the standings. None of that matters. What matters is the effort that the team puts forth for 60 plus minutes when the puck drops for game time. And you can, if your team's on point and they're ready to play, I feel like you can beat anybody. And conversely, if you're not ready to play, you can lose to anybody.
Yesterday you were talking about wanting to really give the lineup a chance and take it for a real test drive. Is that something that you feel like you've learned over your years coaching the league, or is that something you've always believed in?
I think that there's always things that come up, or there's things that you might not like on a line or see on a line, and so you make changes. I don't think you just put it out there and let it go. You have to evaluate it. I do think you have to give it a little bit of time, but there are situations, winning and losing factors into it, health factors into it. There's a lot of different things that an opponent may factor into it on what you think might be good for a line or good for somebody on a line or a D pair, giving them a responsibility. Right now, I think that just being patient and looking to see where we're at, I think that could be positive, because there could be a little bit of chemistry that starts to develop.
Do you think this game has at all any extra meaning just prior to a 5-game long extensive road trip at the start of the year here, or is it just another night?
I think that it kind of goes back to the same answer as before. Like, I think this game has a meaning because it's on the schedule and it's worth 2 points, and every team's fighting to win hockey games and put themselves in a position early on to be in a good spot in the standings, and then ultimately qualify for a cup down the road. And so for me, this one's really important. And as soon as this one's over, you can ask me that question tomorrow, and I'll tell you exactly what the next most important game is. And that's kind of how you have to go about your business.
What's your feedback so far to Will Cooley about how he's played? What are your thoughts on his game?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it a couple times. I think Will's done a really good job. He's a young player, and he's you come into the National Hockey League, and now you're playing against men in a man's game against the best players that we have to put out on the ice. And at times, I think that can be challenging for young players. I think he's done a really good job. I think he's played a really good game. I mean, we show him a few things here and there, but he's not the topic of conversation when it comes to a ton of video on what's off with his game. I think he does a lot of good things. He plays a straightforward game. He has a lot of speed. He plays it with physicality. He generates some scoring chances. I think and that's been consistent too. That's been through training camp as well. It's not like, he just had one good game and that's it. And so I find that most of the conversations that we have with Will are maybe minor teaching and really positive. Whereas there could be a lot of teaching and a lot of things that go on, and a player in and out of line. Right now, I said it the other day, we should leave him alone because he's playing hard, he's doing the right things, and he has a real positive impact on the game.
You see right now, guys are still trying to figure out what you want. When you start to see them understand it more about, without thinking now.
I do think that they're understanding things a little bit more. I think there's a you get in sync as a team or a line out on the ice on where to be, where to go, what to do. And like I said, in training camp, when you're in practice or game 2 of exhibition, there's more bumping into each other or missed places or pause, or there's not a lot of time inside of games you have split seconds to make reads and reactions on the ice. And so for me, I think that I do see a quicker part of it to our game. There's been a lot of times where I see less mistakes and less things. So I do think that they're understanding. I also think that we're at the beginning, and this is a work in progress, and there's a long road ahead. So positive, there's positive things. I see that. I think they see that. I still think we can get a lot better at what we're doing.
Although Panarin got a couple of double shifts the other night, is that
Yeah.
something that you've been looking at closely as far as his offensive production goes early on, just to get him going a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to, I think he's playing really well, and I think he has a major impact in the game with how he's playing, how he's competing, not just on the offensive side of the puck, but for an offensive player, even on the defensive side of the puck. And the offense, I think, is what you see more of. I'm looking at the defense, and I see a guy who's competing in battles, back checking hard, stripping pucks from behind. And then the offensive part of the game, he seems to be on it, looking for it all the time. And if somebody makes that much noise, I want to get him out on the ice a little bit more.
Thank you.